Okay. Before I go into the Middle Ages, I would like to say something about my work, where it comes from, what I do. Different things. Books I read, music I listen to, movies I see, places I go to. And finally, artists that I like. So, in 1963, I got a scholarship from the Sudanese government to go to England. I didn't want to go to England because everybody goes to England. And I decided to go to Italy. I landed, well, Italy is exciting. Sleep, but exciting. You live, you don't work. So, I was living for 3 years in Italy. And the first painting that I did was coming out of Braque. The still life. Because I loved Braque more than Picasso. And I still do. I was in Siena. I was invited by this family to stay with them for like a month. And it was like heaven. Coming from the Sudan, the hottest place on earth. And you have this incredible landscape in Tuscany. A villa with a Benvenuto Cellini statue and frescoes on the ceiling. So I did that because I was watching this is the studio of the girl of the family. And she said, instead of watching me paint, make something. So I did the still life. In the Sudan, mainly I was one of the few in Africa that did Cubist paintings. I don't know anybody who did Cubist. I'm in Africa. So when I arrived in Siena, it came spontaneously, the same style, the same thing. And by the time I finished the month, I go to Florence, to the academy. For about 2-3 months, I'm looking for churches to see paintings and frescoes, and the Uffizi with the incredible paintings that housed in the Uffizi. But the frescoes, the most amazing fresco that I loved and enjoyed a lot, the Giotto in Santa Croce and the Masaccio, Chiesa del Carmen frescoes. So my work started changing to the second painting called Aria Bizantina. And from Aria Bizantina, I started doing glazes and transparencies in the painting rather than just straightforward painting. And the second painting, the same style of the frescoes, done about an artist I loved a lot that I saw in the Uffizi, Paolo Uccello. It's the Battle of San Romano, and this is homage to Paolo Uccello. It's the biggest painting that I've done in my stay in Italy, because in Italy they don't make things big. Everything is small. Even in the etchings, you have small etchings. Until I went to Italy, came here in America, that everything was big. The limousine was stretching like the whole block. When I first saw the Ferris limousine, I stopped dead in the airport. I couldn't go out. And then when somebody said, no, go through. I'm carrying my luggage, and I was pushing the door. When it opened dramatically, I almost fell down. So anyway, New York. Tuscany was still in my head because really the landscape was just, I have never seen anything like it in Sudan or anywhere else, not even here, even though this country has incredible places. So I did a series. I work always in series, not just one painting. Because one painting, you ruin it, you charge it with a lot of things unnecessarily. So I have like 4, 6 canvases, and I work from one to the next and things like that. When it reaches a certain point, I put them away and come back and look at them with a fresh eye and either finish them or they're finished. So this is a series of Tuscany. I was looking for something new, always trying to find a different way of approaching a painting. And in the most drastic change came here because of the etching that I used to do in the academy. Etching helped me understand better painting than just painting by itself. And after I finished the painting completely, I decided to cover it up, completely ruin it. It's not really ruined, but to destroy the image in my head and then scrape out the image back again. It's like mezzotint. When you do a mezzotint, you go to black and then the image comes out of the black. So the same thing with this period that I did there, and the second homage that I did was for Paul Klee, because before Paul Klee, I used to love Gauguin. And up to now, I mean, I do things, I have other things of Paul Klee, you will see later also. The third one, I mean, the fourth one is a film by Eric Roma called Claire's Knee. Also, my ex-wife's name was Claire. So that was like a very important painting for me when I did it. Not now, because now it's separated. Etching. I mean, I'm sorry about the condition of the slides. Rania did an incredible job to give you this image because you could not see the slides that I have. Poor slides. And she managed to make this look nice. And the first one was done Echo 2. I did a series of echoes because I was coming out of a job that I had in Jamaica, and all of a sudden I hear tuck, 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 tuck. And everybody was going down the ground. And I'm looking around and he says, go down, go down. I said, what's happening? There was a holdup in the supermarket. In those days, in 1980, in the 70s also, every day there was a holdup in the bank, a supermarket, or a bodega. And I said, this is like the movies, it's not real. And then I decided to make a print of, it was the biggest print I did then, 40 by 20 inches. The second one, about a city that was destroyed by the flood of the Aswan Dam. It's 60 feet below the water. And the only thing was sticking up was the minaret of the mosque. So I decided to make a series also of this city and another one called Sawakin. I'm sorry, Sawakin is not here, but it's about the same condition of, disappearing. New York streets are filled with wonderful things, especially the crushed soda can. I mean, the soda can for me is like not a soda can, but it's a work of art. And it has like drawings. You look at it, fascinating. It reminds me of this Italian artist called Cosimo. I can't remember his last name. Anyway, he used to stand where, on a wall, looking at the wall where people used to stand and pee, and spit on the wall. And he would make his drawings from the spit on the wall. Piero di Cosimo. You'll find him in the Metropolitan Opera. So for me, the can, the drawing, is the same thing like this drawings of Piero di Cosimo, who did these magnificent hunting scenes and so forth. So the second one is coming out of a painting by Giovanni di Paolo, Adam and Eve in the Metropolitan also, small painting. And I decided to put the sun, because it's like for the heavens, and then also change it with the soda can. In 1978, I was invited to Morocco to go to participate in a symposium of printmaking. We were 13 artists from different parts of the world. And after this meeting, I decided to make something to commemorate this meeting of all of us. So I said, what shall I do in this? I love black and white. Why should I go into color? But the color in Morocco was phenomenal. And I decided to make them in color. And I used the stamps in all this series because everybody uses stamps. The title came after I finished it and called it Common Ground because of the place that we met, all of us. The second one, even though it was in the same vein of the Common Grounds, but this is done for Miro after he died in 85 or 83, I'm not sure, in the 80s. So this is about 5 prints that I did, call them Homage to Miro. Now this is the 80s, late 80s, and it really passed the 70s. Because of the music, I'm showing them to you because this is a series I did on Bob Dylan songs that I listen to a lot, especially this date, because that's the date, the second time I was separated from my ex-wife. And I used 2 different pieces of papers, 2 different plates because of the separation. Tombstone Blue, It Ain't Me Baby, Tombstone Blues, and back, Homage to Paul Klee again. But the second one is called View Out of the Window. Thank you.